you up, tear you down. Since you seem to think that you gotta have the other, and that the other is better than me, I don't let you have a go at what you say you can't do without. So what you say you can't do without will do you in. So if you want to start working on facing the future, you gotta confess. John, 1 John 1:9, which says, if you confess your sins, God is faithful. I just want to pause out. Give me 5 minutes. I'm trying to hurry up. If you see, you got to understand, God can see a black ant on a black rock at midnight. So anything and everything you do, God already sees it and knows. Now God says, confess openly to me what I already know. If you do that, he says, I'm faithful and just to forgive you. So we must confess every sin. Not only confess, but you got to be consecrated, set apart. What's the opposite, or what's the opposition of being consecrated to God? Stubbornness. You got some folk that just stubborn. I ain't gonna change. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. If anybody else calls you an old dog, you be ready to fight. Then you call yourself an old dog and can't change. Don't tell me God can't change you. No, I was into my life way back when, forever how long, but when I gave my life over to him at that late age, God was able to change me, to turn me around and make me different. Now, I may not look all different to you. You know, some folk work from the outside in, but God's still working from the inside out over here. And you may get some glimpse of God, and don't get upset because every now and then that old man will seep out. Y'all looking at me funny. The old man, the old woman, don't that's too far, brother. Every now and then you should have blessed somebody, you bleed somebody. You got to consecrate. You got to confess. But then you got to concentrate. Don't allow other voices to get you off track. I preached a while ago about voices that are always bombarding us. You got the voice of other people. You got the voice of the devil. You got your own voice talking to you. And then you got God talking to you. There's 4 voices. And if you're not in tune and in touch with the right voice, you won't know it. Some of us now, and beware of people that always going to tell you, if I were you. You got to watch out for them folk. You got to watch out for them folk. And guess what? Can I tell you this and I'm going to move on? Some of the folk you got to watch out for are not always the ones outside the family. I'm keep it real. Sometimes it's your family that treats you worse off than outside. That's why some of us, we gotta love our biological family from afar. Because they cause too much pain. See, first of all, they know how you used to be. And they still want to hold how you used to be on you today. And they won't let go of how you used to be. So you can't grow around them people. So you can't have to follow them. And say, I love you too long. But you know, it's text. You better text and say, I love you. And you mean it. But every time I get around you, you don't bring out the best in me. Oh, y'all don't want to be real. Some of your family, you got to watch out. Stay focused. Don't be distracted. Am I right about it? And don't allow yourself to be distracted. Forever hasten. Not only not plan on your future without God, but secondly, what do you got to do? Avoid dangerous presumptions. Look at verse 15. James chapter 4. Instead, you ought to say if the Lord wills, we shall live. And if the Lord wills, we shall do this or that. See, this businessman started making plans, first of all, without God. Talk about what he's going to do. You don't want to be presumptuous. He presumed that he had a tomorrow. But God said your life is like a vapor. A word for vapor is atmosphere. It's where we get the word atmosphere. And your life is like your breath on a cold day. You ever go to and then it dissipates. You ever see the fog and you can't see it until you get up in it, and then all of a sudden it disappears? That's how your life is. I worked on a job down at the Navy Yard, and the guy that worked there 40, 50 years. I'll say his name now. Frank Bannister. Big honcho. He kept telling me, man, I can't wait to retire. Good guy. He retired, and I think I couldn't maybe a week or so. Somebody said, what's that guy that used to work here 40, 50 years? Folk will forget about you. That's not only what you do for Christ, really. People don't appreciate it. You try your hardest to help them out, and they don't even know you. Don't be presumptuous. Like a mist rising over a pond that evaporates as the sun comes up. That's how life is. You're here, and then you're gone. Let me drop this one on you as I get ready to close. You know how we were younger, you wanted to be old? You'll put your age. I know some of you the right age. But if you were like me, I always wanted to be old. I wanted to hang with the old head. You know, when I was 12, I wanted to be 14, 15, you know. Then when I was 14, I wanted to be 16, and I couldn't wait to get 18. Somehow I thought 18 was the man until I found out you had to be 21 to get your liquor. Then I wanted to be 21. I used to go into they call it steak store. And I would have a hat on with my young face, break down the hat, put on a coat, cover my head, and walk in with my baby voice and say, give me a shot. And later on, the man would tell me, on Francis Street, my brother right there. The man would tell me after I got like 24, he said, man, he used to come in, he said, you tickled me and a couple of other people who were behind the counter, but you cool with your stuff. We knew you wasn't old enough. You come in with all this broke down hat like you Superman or Clark Kent, and coat all bagged up, too big for your hat, drooping down. It was a giveaway, but they said section was cool. We gave you stuff. What am I saying? When I was young, I tried to be old. And now I'm older. And the folk that I used to put my age up 4 or 5 years, it came one guy told me I was 65. I said, the devil's a lie. Ain't nothing wrong with 65. But you just 5, 6 years old. He said, man, you told me. I said, I lied, man. I lied. I mean, you was born in 40. I said, I wasn't in no 40s. Ain't nothing wrong with 40s now. But I wasn't in 40s. See, if I just stayed here, I'm serious. Folk come up, this is my me and him to say. I said, no, I ain't you age. When you get older, life fades, Brandon. I just threw that out. You got to be careful. Avoid dangerous presumptions. But there's something else as I get ready to close. If you want to face your future, you got to forget about some things in the past.